Hey everybody. Started about a minute early, but hope you don't mind. Good afternoon. I'll be drawing some characters for you today, and I'll be going till 3 p.m. Wow, just gonna let everyone come in. Hi. Let me see how many people I can say. Yamil, Marlon, Matilde, Sai, Kelly, William, H2O Wolf, Roxanne, Mimi Chan, Kofi Demon, LOL, Chelsea Lewis, Kylie Reeder, Ina Nacheva. Welcome everybody. So glad to have all of you with me this afternoon. And thank you for coming to watch me draw. I'm using Adobe Animate, also known as Flash. And I'll be drawing some characters from next week's episode. Wow, hi. Hello. So exciting. And can everyone hear the music? I always have to check at the beginning because OBS is touch and go. Hi everyone. So I'm just gonna jump right into it and get started drawing. I already kind of started these two characters, but these are the protagonists. Great, you can hear the music. That's awesome. Oh, how is everyone doing today, this week, Wednesday? This episode is going to be St. Patrick's Day themed. It's about the Blarney Stone. Do I have any friends from Ireland here? Yeah, I'm having a pretty good week. Oh, Amelia, you're from Ireland. That is great. Thank you. Aloha. You guys are so nice. Yeah, we released the Abducted episode yesterday, which I was drawing last week, and it is, spoiler, about aliens. I'm using a Cintiq tablet to draw, and the software is Adobe Animate. And I love Adobe Animate because it has all these symbols and options to group things really quickly that I just can't do as fast in Photoshop. So it's great for the rapid prototyper. Scotland's amazing too. Oh, thank you, Will. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, so I mean, I'm mainly here to draw and talk to you guys. I mean, any questions you might have about the process along the way, I'm happy to hear. Even if you just want to tell me how your day is going, I'm all for it. Appreciate you guys coming to hang out. All the new episodes come out on Tuesdays. Spider-Man, Cindy Fox, Anastasia, Paola, Melda, Starlight, Nightmare Girl, David, Akiria, Mengcon. I'm good. You think we should make a TikTok page? We've been talking about that. We've been talking about that with Markeia and the Snarled team. It takes a week to animate one episode. I developed my art style by learning from others, trying to draw like others. You find favorite artists, and that kind of blends into your style. You can learn a lot from attempting to draw realistically as well, because all drawing is like a abstraction or interpretation of realism, and then you can actually kind of lean on your own flaws, knowing that you're not going to draw it perfectly. You're always finding shortcuts, because with animation you have to work quickly. You can't draw completely realistically every time, so you find little focus points that speak a certain truth about reality and realism. To join the Patreon, you go to patreon.com/snarled. Yeah, and we're trying to come up with some new fun things on there that we're hoping to unveil soon. But for right now, you get to see behind-the-scene pictures. You get to see the episodes without ads. The family killing people and making the bodies into furniture. Yeah, that's family first, I think. We've got the skin chair from that episode right here. I love that episode too. And I love the skin chair. I wanted to give this girl a leather jacket with some punk buttons. And it's dumb, it's so obvious, but I was designing these characters and I was thinking about, okay, like Ireland, people talk about red hair, but I found out that only makes up about 10% of the population of Ireland, so I think this character is going to be a dark-haired Irish girl, black hair, and he'll have some reddish hair. Not that, I mean, these episodes are in black and white grayscale, so you can't really see what color their hair is, but everyone in here will know the secret. I'm gonna say canonically the skin chair is very comfy. Yeah, when I color on the wrong layer, I just try to move on, copy and paste it onto the right layer. That's something that's a lot easier in Flash and Animate than Photoshop. Photoshop is such an ordeal to move stuff from one layer to another. You realize you've been drawing on the wrong layer, you've been drawing color like underneath your outlines, and you have to like magic wand it to copy it and move it. What a nightmare. That truly is something scary. So this character's just about done. I'm gonna give her some legs because this is kind of a full body, full featured episode. These characters are moving around, there's a lot of action. Gonna start inking her pretty soon, but just wanna sketch out some leggies. Separate these arms because they're gonna have to move. Gonna separate all these onto their own layers. Yeah, it's Adobe Animate. My favorite animation I've done on the Snarled channel. I've said this before, not that I mind saying it, but I loved working on True Mexican Ghost Story. Yeah, that one just speaks to me because it was kind of realistic. You know, we have the recording of the person on there. Eventually, the regulars on the show are going to start recognizing questions that have been asked a lot. So forgive me if at some point you ask me a question and I'm like, I already answered that. I'm not trying to be a grouch. I'm just trying to keep it new and interesting. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about the coronavirus, but I'm aware of it. I hope you guys are staying safe, staying well. Wash the hands, as they say. Dead person wrapped in the blanket and the mom was acting greedy. Yeah, the pocong from Indonesia. That is a great one. And a great monster, too. Hi. Wendigo story. I think Sapphire might have done a Wendigo story. Like, that might be an old episode. I think you can never have enough Wendigo stories. It's such an interesting monster design, especially with the antlers. Sorry to hear that, Nightmare Girl. Hope your friend gets better. The little girl and the drum, and they want their mom's blood. Yeah, that's a good one. That one is, that's actually a folk tale, and it appeared in one of the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books, and that episode was like a cross promotion with them because their movie was coming out when we did that episode. But that story also existed before the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, so we kind of put our own spin on it. Yeah, you can have a shout out, Amelia. A freaking demon unicorn. That's an idea. Demonic Mr. Krabs. Now that's scary. SpongeBob is kind of a horrifying show. Like, some of the grotesque close-ups they do. I appreciate that. Excuse me. Mr. Widemouth. Kind of sounds familiar. Kind of sounds like the Kuchisake Onna, the slit-mouthed woman. Oh wow, there's a rake story about camping, and the friend goes to out in the woods and his guts get smothered. Yikes. SpongeBob and the Haunted Bikini Bottom. Sal Kanika, to answer your question, it takes a week to do every episode. 5 days, a couple days to edit, 3 days to draw it. So you're just getting a very narrow little 3-hour window in my drawing process, but I try to put something like more interesting in these streams because there's a lot of boring stuff to draw. There's a lot of backgrounds. There's a lot of cleanup and mundane stuff. her some flared jeans. Alright, I think that's almost ready. Separate these pants. Different layer. It's nice to get all your ducks in a row. Aw, greetings from Mexico. Thank you, Sora-chan. Okay, so this episode is called The Curse of the Blarney Stone. A little across the chest sort of purse. Put a dog in there. That's an idea. I don't know if there's allowance for that in the script. And I also try and keep the props kind of lean because it just means more stuff I have to draw, and believe me, there's always a lot to draw every episode. Yes, cancel. Meet you guys and call you. That's an idea. Maybe we should do a Discord thing. Maybe we should open up a voice line on the Discord. That'd be cool. It'd be fun to get call-ins. There's something special about a call-in. It's like, it's more like a radio show in that way. And if you don't know, you can also submit stories by email to SomethingScary@snarled.com, and we get a lot of those, but we look at them and we try to feature as many of them as we can, because you guys have brilliant stories, a lot of times like real stories that have happened to you, but we're not completely opposed to telling not real stories. I don't know if that should come as a surprise that not every story is real. There's some amount of exaggeration. Maybe XD Jonas. I don't know about revisiting the rake, especially with what's going on with the No Sleep Reddit. We want to kind of be sensitive and like aware of, because authors are getting their work stolen, and that's really like the opposite of what we want to do. And the rake is one of those characters that sort of no one knows who the author is. It's kind of in the public domain, which is sort of why it was like possible for us to do that episode. But I think we're mainly trying to stick to stories that are either submitted or, you know, that we write ourselves. And even though that story is kind of in the public domain, it's like still like it's kind of part of the internet folklore, kind of like it's like community created content. And a new design, not as creepy as the other one. Why would we hold back on the creepiness? We gotta always be more creepy. You're Jenny. Hi, Lauren. Yeah, Janny was the name of the character in Haunted Library, the little ghost girl. Okay, are we ready to clean this up yet? I gotta hand it to Adobe for improving some of the problems with Adobe Animate that I had for a long time. 11 p.m., 9 p.m., 7:20. So it's evening for a lot of you guys. You must be in Europe, Africa, Asia, maybe Australia, maybe the Pacific Islands. That's so exciting when I hear that people from all over the world are tuning in to watch. I will not abide a phone call while I am streaming. This is our time. It was probably a telemarketer anyways. No, Stephanie, I haven't watched BuzzFeed Unsolved yet. Keep forgetting. There, I wrote a note for myself. Central Europe. Wow. Yeah. People who are in the United States, they're like either at work or they're in school. It's only 12:20 for me right now. But I'm work, so I have an excuse. It looked like a rake Wendigo love child. Hello from Sweden. I was listening to some Swedish music. Sorry for that. I was listening to some Swedish music earlier this morning. Oh, can I say their name? Yeah, I can say their name. They're called Shit Kid, which I don't know if you know the translation for that, but it's like a type of story which is used to it means like snot-nosed brat. Like it's a type of folktale that you use to keep kids from listening to rock and roll music. And they are a rock band. Alright, I'm putting some other music on because that playlist ended. Here we go. It's back. Let's see, who is that from Sweden? XD Jonas. Yeah. If you can, check out them. Yeah, it's a bad word in some languages. I feel like it's appropriate since it kind of means something else in another language. And also, I'm supporting the artists who that's their name, that's their band, and they're a great band. I wish I could play them on the stream. Unfortunately, we gotta stick to the music that we actually have licensed to play on stream. Yep. No, I don't speak Arabic. Just English. And hopefully in the future I'd like to speak Spanish, and I'd like to finish learning Japanese. I took Japanese in high school, but Spanish is a priority. Look at those little hands. Those are not good hands. They need to be bigger. Well, we have a lot of Swedish listeners, viewers. What is this, a podcast? You are listening to me, though. Listening to the deep, dulcet tones of my voice. I hate when you're trying to use the paint bucket and it won't do it because there's a tiny little crack. So you just gotta paint over the edges until you know it's covered, and then you try again. There we go. It's filled. Like the dark pit in my soul. Alright, let's do some cleanup. Actually, before that, let's do a flip test. What do they look like flipped? It's something you don't think about when you're starting out with digital illustration is that you could be drawing your characters all skewed, either because of where you're sitting, like in relationship to your tablet. I think I did okay here. I might need to stretch his eye a little bit. But yeah. Kinda happy with how that turned out. Alright. Let's do some yummy inks. Let's make some big, beautiful, thick outlines. There we go. Let's give this guy a symbol. His name is Aaron. This is the first time I've heard of that name. It's an Irish name. And the girl's name is Siobhan. Thank you, Salama. Cindy Fox. There, I said it. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Oh my goodness. I'm not able to read those characters. I don't know how to say that name. Maybe if I could have a hint or a phonetic. Alright, let's get down to inky business. No, I'm not talking about Splatoon. I'm talking about paint. Let's pick out our outline, thickness. I like that. Maybe a little too thick, but I like it. Ooh, I like this song. Makes me feel like I'm in a crystal cave. That reminds me of the crystal cave in Dark Souls, where you fight Seath the Scaleless, I think his name is. And there's like butterflies and Luna moths flying around down there. So pretty. Oh my goodness, what is a knock-in story? Gotta always write down monsters that I haven't heard of. Knockin'. Sometimes trouble comes knocking. Yeah. I don't think I want to use this tool for drawing this. I want to do some good old-fashioned brushwork. I have to move my legs sometimes because when I sit on them, they fall asleep. Oh, that's Japanese. Okay, that says, well, those are kanji. No wonder I can't read it. I don't know kanji. I can read katakana and hiragana. Using the word read generously, I can phonetically read out hiragana and katakana characters. These outlines are too much. They're too thick. Yeah, see, that's too much, man, too much. That's better. That's more I like it. That's a good question, Julia. This is a complicated episode because in the script there is no monster. These two Irish kids are going to the Blarney Castle in Ireland, and they've heard about the Blarney Stone. And in this story, we've invented a wrinkle to it, like a kind of conspiracy theory that the Blarney Stone that everyone knows is not the real one, that the real Blarney Stone is on another parapet on the castle. So they sneak off behind the ropes to go find it. And what happens is this guy thinks it's a great idea to steal a piece of it because he wants to take the gift of gab with him wherever he goes. But his greed unleashes the curse of the Blarney Stone, which I don't know if there's a real curse. I think maybe we made it up for the story. But generally, you shouldn't mess with, public treasures, public monuments, especially ones that are supposedly magical. That's just asking for trouble. Even if it doesn't do anything, you're still a jerk for doing that. I love drawing curly hair. I dislike those alert sounds. I really don't want to receive an alert every time you get an email. Yeah, the way I deal with curls is kind of like a zigzag. It's sort of an improvisational zigzag. Like I try to sort of trace a contour. It's important when designing to try and find order in the chaos, even when something looks kind of random or, completely improvised. It helps to have some kind of pattern in there that you can follow. Because patterns are everywhere, they're in nature. Never look at a tool that you can use as quote unquote the easy way out. There's no such thing. The only easy way out that isn't acceptable is to just steal or copy someone's work. But even then, it's great as an artist to take a walk in like another artist's shoes and feel what it's like to try someone else's style, because you're inspired by people. It's what artists do, and then eventually you develop your own style. for me, I started drawing these like wavy curls in hair from like a very young age. Like it was like one of the first things that I could like say became a part of my style. And one of the problems I have with it is it's so busy. You know, like it's like too many lines almost. And I feel like that's like a weakness of it. So to counter that, I try to space it out a little bit, add some uniformity to it so it doesn't just look like, I don't know, messy spaghetti. Yeah, shout out Lacey. When are you going to make a colored animation? Not anytime soon. We did a color test on one of the episodes, and it just took me too long. It nearly drove me crazy. Drove. That's not a word. It's a name, but it's not a word. Yeah, I love color. I think color's really important. I collect color references. I love working in color, but it is very time consuming. Making everything in black and white is kind of one of the ways that we're able to get away with releasing a new episode every week and still stay sane in the process. Yeah, because the one week where I tried doing color, I think it was the first stream actually I did, Hunted on the Run. You can see me coloring that episode, and it just about broke me. Yeah, so maybe in the future, maybe if we ever can afford a bigger team, but right now I'm like the only artist. Yeah, I love collecting colors, setting up color schemes. I feel like, especially if you're starting out, like one of the first things you should learn is color, and how to balance colors well, what colors look good together, because there's a lot of really amazing, like technically well drawn art, but the colors are just like, oh, well, this isn't great. Whereas if the colors are great, even if the drawing is not that good, you're like, those colors though. It's kind of like sound or audio. Like, you can get away with, I don't want to say bad animation, but like low budget or stylized animation if you have like great writing, great soundtrack, great sound design. It's the invisible things that tie it together. And color is similar. It's very underrated. Nakin is a naked guy who drowns people with his violin playing. That sounds amazing. Yes, sir. That sounds like an episode we have to do. Is that a folk myth? Cookie Cat Gaming. Hey dude, just to tell you, I watched this channel since the first Something Scary, so please give me a shout out. Of course I will give you a shout out, Cookie Cat Gaming. Thank you so much for watching for so long. Thank you guys. Oh yeah, that's George, that's a great point about drawing in a digital software. It's my favorite part about it. You get layers, you get second chances to change stuff. I'm always changing stuff around. Whoever said that you have to like go hardcore mode, like permadeath on your own art drawing, well, they're like Renaissance painters. They're legendary, but there's very few of them for a reason. I don't know what they had to sacrifice in their childhoods, but we have the technology. We don't. We have many ways of practicing, and I find, when you practice in digital, those skills follow you if you want to go back out to oil painting, and you don't have to be commissioned by the Catholic Church to paint the Sistine Chapel to be able to afford to paint works of art. You can practice drawing the Sistine Chapel in Photoshop on your computer with a modestly priced tablet. Cool. I like this character. See, I'm working digitally, so I can stretch stuff, I can move stuff. I have complete control. Pokemon talk. I just unearthed my Pokemon cards, and I've been collecting those since they released the very first ones. Now, I don't have anything super amazing. Like, I have a shiny Charizard, and it's all scratched up because I traded it for some junk card that I had a long time ago. I always wanted a shiny Charizard. I finally got one, and it was not a brand new one. It was like a sloppy, bent, you could see scratches where the foil color is like coming through. But eventually what I did was I traded like a Ziploc bag of like 100 cards because this girl I knew had a Blaine's Charizard shiny first edition, and I wanted it so bad, and I still have it, and that might be the most valuable card I have because now it's like I'm seeing it going for like $300, and it's in pretty good condition. It's like, I don't know if I can get away with saying it's near mint, but it's pretty high up there. Yeah, I haven't gotten into any of the new Pokemon stuff. I haven't gotten into the new game on Switch. I haven't gotten into Pokemon Go. I have it installed on my phone. Just don't have time to catch the Pokemans. If I did, though, I would want to catch a Gengar. This episode will be called The Curse of the Blarney Stone. Thanks, XD. I'll check that out. Like I said, I don't know if we're gonna delve into the rake much more than we have, but would definitely consider it. I loved drawing that monster after all. Pardon me. Kaylee, aren't you listening? It's called Curse of the Blarney Stone. Listen to your grandma. Clean behind those ears. You got corn cobs growing behind your ears. Did anyone watch the new Lumpy Touch video where it's grandma ASMR? I thought that was so funny. Again, if anyone has any connections to Mr. Lumpy Touch, I would love to do an art trade or like a collaboration. Call me up. See, what I'm doing with this line is I'm creating vector points. Before, when I just drew one line, it's point to point. That's 2 points. This one has 3 points. Because when I bend this vector line, it only bends between those two vertices. So the way I like to create a new vertex is by drawing a line through and then moving it. That establishes the vertex point, and then I delete it, and then I have a new vertex point. There's got to be an easier way, but that's the way I always do it. There's always a quicker way to do the thing that you've already been doing. Speaking of which, I'm gonna put another album on because this one's over. Hip hop workout. No. Feel good hip hop. Hip hop. I love it. That sounds like Rocky. It's 90s hip hop sound like. I kind of like it. Let's try it a little bit. Let's listen to this album for a while. It's funny when you listen or look at something that supposedly has a 90s aesthetic. And you think, like, what makes this 90s? But I like this. Maybe it's the Eastern influences that kind of makes it a little like Wu-Tang. Yeah, the music stops sometimes because I have to put a new album on every time it ends. This character's name is Siobhan. Did I say that right? Siobhan? There's a character in Orphan Black named Siobhan. I like that show. It's one of the shows that I actually finished recently. This eyebrow. What if we made it a little more like that? A little thicker. And what if I can make this end here a little flatter? Like that. Ooh. It's almost too flat. Kinda like it though. Kinda into it. Is there an in-between point? Maybe just a little bit flat? Yeah, just keep it round. Keep it round for now. Round town. What is the name of the music? I will tell you. The song we're listening to right now is called Wasted Education. And the song before that was Detroit by Cinny. This one's Wasted Education by Blue Topaz. Someone in the chat making a Baba Booey reference. This isn't your daddy's Howard Stern show. Oh no, not a boot. Does anyone have any boot stories? Or is it boot? That was an episode I liked working on. OMG, hi Suri, thank you. Thanks, Lauren. I like her hair and jacket also. I'm jealous. I wish I could have some of the clothes that I draw. Let's get some frecks in there. Freckies. Thanks for watching, Heart Princess. I want to know what was behind the mask of the girl with that drum. It's a big mystery. That was another thing where that detail wasn't in the original story. You know, the fact that the girl is wearing a mask. But I'm always trying to subvert the script a little bit, because sometimes it just says, like, creepy ghost girl, creepy little girl. And I'm not trying to do the, like, Sadako from The Ring thing. Like, I think there's an unlimited number of possibilities for how to do a creepy little girl. And one of them is, that's not a little girl. They are treating her like she's a little girl, but it's like some kind of monster wearing a mask. Thanks, Blushing Skies. That's so nice. Alright, Cindy Fox, thanks for watching. That's so nice, Salama. I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, that's me. I'm the illustrator. Yeah, I hate it when people don't say your name correctly. It's frustrating. I mean, I've got like a really basic name, like Johnny, but you know, I say, hi, this is Johnny speaking. Oh, hi, John. No, it's not John with an H. Well, I don't get too offended at that. Here's Johnny. Johnny, Johnny, yes, Papa. Eating sugar, no, Papa. Oh, hey, Batul, welcome back. Oh, I'm just doing shout outs to what people are saying in the chat. I don't necessarily know what everyone is talking about. Sometimes I'll look away for a second and I'll have completely whooshed. The song just randomly has like the anvil sound from Looney Tunes in it. Reminds me of Gex. Enter the Gecko. These nostrils are all wrong. Need to do better. Yeah, sure, I can give you a shout out, CoolCat57. What is the scariest movie thing you have ever seen? My whole life. These nostrils are not doing it for me. Every time I hear that question, it's like the very first time. I like completely forget everything scary I've ever seen. I guess I can't remember now. These movies blur together for me, but like I remember nothing about it, but one of the Paranormal Activity movies like had me like shivering. It was like the third or fourth one. Oh, very good, Jonathan, thank you. How do you start learning animation? It starts one drawing at a time. You draw a character in one position and then you draw them in another position. And you start thinking about characters existing in a 3D space. And you just get better at drawing different angles of things. You can start with small objects. It's great to start by drawing 3D cubes and drawing those in different positions. And even the amazing artist Kim Jung-gi he conceptualizes things like in the form of a box. I don't think he needs to, but like for the purpose of demonstration, that's what he said he like practiced with, was drawing boxes. And you know, if you can draw boxes in 3D like that perfect depth and use that as a starting point, you're essentially blocking out a 3D scene, and you can draw characters inside of those boxes, and it's just a very cool hack. Anyways, lots and lots of practice. Well, succeeding is just failing over and over again until you trick someone into thinking it's good. Oops. Yeah, artists are really critical of their own work. I think a lot of artists like don't even consider themselves to be like successes. It's hard because you compare yourselves to others. You always think there's someone better than you. But that criticism, I guess, kind of drives you to go forward and get better. I'm rambling. I'm a rambling man. Face reveal. I don't have a webcam and my room is a mess. I'm actually setting up a green screen because I would like to do a face reveal at some point. I'm not keeping any secrets here. It's just I don't have the technology. It'd be cool to be live on camera while I'm drawing. I'm in the process of turning my room into a studio, an art drawing studio. I've already got the microphone. I've got a large projector screen that's way bigger than I thought it would be in the Amazon window. Alright, I'm happy with those nostrils. Satisfied. Let's do a quick flip check. How's it look? Yeah, that's alright. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Scariest thing I ever encountered was when I was like 11, I want to say. Maybe I was 13. And my friends and I, we were all living in Santa Cruz, California, and we wanted to record a video with like a camcorder, so we were gonna walk to the store. It was night at this point, and we wanted to go get more tape for the camera because we didn't have any tape. So we're all walking. We're all like white kids, and we're all wearing white t-shirts. And I think it's just a coincidence. I don't know if this is why. Maybe some people tried to mess with us. But we're walking together, and maybe they think we're a gang. I don't know what. We're just kids who like to play Smash Brothers Melee. But anyways, this pickup truck decides to like start like driving at us full speed. Like, we run, and like it starts chasing us, and we like split up at this point. and I'm with this like other kid who I like barely even know. All my friends, they run off in different directions. They run into the neighborhood. They run to people's houses that they know. And me and this kid, we go the other way, and we go into a field. And there's like no houses over there. There's no like place we can go. And so we're the ones who are getting followed by these guys in a pickup truck. And they're shining their headlights into the grass to like try and find us, and we're just like hiding. We're like hiding in the tall grass, like hoping to not get seen, just like waiting it out. And eventually they drive away. Maybe it was like really obvious that like we're just hiding there, and they just wanted to scare us, but like I thought maybe I was gonna die at the time. Who knows now? What's a camcorder? It's like, okay, take a phone, but it doesn't call anyone. It just does the camera part, and it records video. And instead of recording it to a memory stick or onboard storage, it saves it to magnetic tape. And that's what a camcorder is. New album. This one's over. That was 90s hip hop. Let's try laid back hip hop. Hey guys, I need to just take a quick moment to go to the other room. I will be back in a sec. Okay, I'm back. Did you guys like how I said that I was gonna go to the other room? Like I didn't say bathroom. What room could I have been talking about? Why would I need to go to the other room? Is it a room in another dimension? Another plane of existence? No. Here we go. What's everyone's favorite kind of cheese? Where's the missing seam? You know, I'm gonna take a little trick from a game called Jezzball. It was packed onto computers. I call this the Jezzball technique because you divide sections until you locate the hole in the cheese. You locate the hole in your area you're trying to fill in. There we go. I drew the cheese. And I'm not sorry. Eyes a little brighter. There, like that. Okay, let's do the jacket. I know this would be kind of torture to talk about music that we can't listen to, but I was wondering what some of your guys' favorite music is. You flatter me, Death Potato 12, calling me a king. Kind of too narrow. You know, they say perfectionism is not a good quality to have in animation because you never get anything done. You just get hung up on details. That's why people who are perfectionists should be designers. Because then you get to take all the time you like. Not all the time, but people forgive you because you've got a vision to perfect. Whereas animators gotta go like bam, bam, bam. Put it out. Wow. That was spammy. Yeah. You don't love cheese? I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Just tell me. Why don't you like cheese? Just tell me. That's my fake freak out about cheese. Hey, there's an idea. I could have the cheese on one of her buttons. There you go. See that? You guys are so smart. Put it on this one. I'm not gonna put designs on all the buttons, but that one's a freebie. Did anyone ever collect sticker books? Like, you would get a book and it was usually associated with some franchise or brand, and there's these blank spots, and you collect stickers to fill the book up with. I remember they made this for Goosebumps, and I knew people that had it, and I wanted a Goosebumps sticker book so bad. Didn't know who to call, where to find it. I didn't know what the internet was. I think that is something we would like to do for Something Scary. Hope I'm not putting the cat out of the bag with that, but it's just something we've been thinking about. Who knows if we'll ever get to do something like that, but would anyone be interested in that? Like having a kind of monster for every episode, like on a sticker. You put it like in a little blank spot. I think that would be fun. This is the draw behind. Paint behind feature. There we go. Channeling my inner Bob Ross. And that little piece of cheese will be our little secret. Actually don't know what accent Bob Ross has. I just know that meme. Secret cheese. You guys are fun. I hope Epidemic Sound updates their music library, because we're going to be playing their music every week, and we're gonna get very familiarized with these tracks eventually, because it's all we got to listen to. Hopefully they'll add some new chill hop. Cool Cat 57 collected sticker books. Yeah. What kind of sticker books did you collect? I want to hear. Yeah, Pokemon cards. Gotta catch them. The video title is Curse of the Blarney Stone. Yeah, I can give you a shout out, MKX. No one has to raise their hands here. You just let those questions rip, and I'll handle them as swiftly as I can. Thanks, Jeff. Does anyone like going to flea markets? I love going to flea markets. I love looking at people's books and DVDs. I like looking at their old video games, toys, comic books. I love the flea market. Yeah, I've heard of SCP. I think SCP is cool. Would love to do SCP episodes, but it's complicated because we are trying to create original monsters either that we create or that have been submitted by users. So in order for us to do an SCP, I think we would need to, it would have to be submitted by someone, and to that extent we also couldn't necessarily mention SCP because it's a community. We want to give them their space. That's their community effort. They create those monsters and that world together, and they deserve the right to be left alone. That's like a creative community project. Yeah, I have a Snapchat. I never do anything on there. I'm not giving my Snapchat info out. I think that's kind of personal, right? But there's a SomethingScary Snapchat. Like, the episodes get edited and published there, like in a cool vertical format. Yeah. So that's just another way you can watch something scary. There we go. There, she's got a white button and a black button, like an old Xbox controller. Or a game of Othello. All the animations had a connection of a sort. I like to think there's like a SomethingScary EU expanded universe. But one of the things that's so cool about anthology horror and shows that I love, like Tales from the Crypt or Creepshow, is that each story has an opportunity to be unique. You have a chance to throw the rules out every episode and create a new set of rules. Like, I like the idea that these things could kind of be going on in the same world. That's one of the things that's great about SCP, right? You get all your monsters in one location. Thanks, Sierra. Well, thanks for watching, Alicia. Well, glad you could make it. Yeah, it's the thing is, these things are always archived, so you could always go back and watch it later. No need to miss work, no need to miss school, just watch it at your leisure. But we're glad, I'm glad you could make it today. What did everyone have for lunch today? I got a avocado chicken salad from Wendy's with a small chili, and I got a big iced tea. I love unsweetened iced tea. Gives me a little caffeine. I don't even have to go for a second coffee today because I got a big cup of iced tea. Need a new playlist. This one is over. The song's called Ekans by Mo Life. It has to be a reference to the Pokemon Ekans, right? Which is snake spelled backwards, is it not? Maybe after this we'll listen to Rough Around the Edges, Rough with 2 F's, or Dreamy Beats. We'll just have to see where this day takes us. Have I ever related to the stories I was sent? Good question. Blushing Skies. Yeah, I think I relate to a lot of them on a certain level. When I'm drawing monsters, I'm my squeaky chair. I'm conjuring them from my imagination. I'm conjuring them from rational things that scare me, I guess. Just like about day-to-day interactions with people. If you're asking me if I relate to certain episodes on a certain level, I'm not sure. I'm really bad at those on-the-spot questions. It's almost like I gotta rehearse it. Like, I could go and look at a list and do it multiple choice style, but while I'm drawing, it's tricky for me to think of every Something Scary episode I've worked on. I don't think I've ever experienced anything quite as like fantastic or like doomish as like the things that happen to people in these stories. Because let's face it, a lot of the time we're like imagining the worst things that could like possibly happen, like when you're writing horror. (2:42 p.m., 8:41 p.m., 12:41 a.m. Everyone all over the world to draw one frame. It depends what frame it is. Since I'm very utilitarian, I like to reuse drawings as much as I can. So some drawings, some frames will just be a matter of copying and pasting assets that I already have drawn. But for the main characters, I like to spend a few hours like working on the characters, just getting them perfect, getting them right, because those are those are our window into the story. It's like the person that you're following. Draw these hands with a brush because I do not trust the pen tool. For fine things like this, there's just so many details. Hands are the hardest thing in the world to draw, because I feel like our human brains are like specifically evolved to read hand language, like in addition to understanding speech, that like our eyes go straight for the hands. They're like, we're obsessed with them because like we're like a hunter-gatherer, tool-oriented species. It's like, what kind of hands does this person have? I don't know if I trust this person's hands. That's just my theory anyways. Yeah, if you're doing art, don't slack on the hands. I know there's all these things to remember when you're drawing, but if you just give yourself little missions, like little things to perfect, it kind of becomes easier. You know, like maybe you're not good at drawing the big picture, maybe you're not good at backgrounds. You don't have to think so big at once, just like start on one thing at a time. And if you're gonna start anywhere, hands are a great place to start. Oh, you're so handsome. Just doing a quick skim of the chat. This morning, my wife sent me a text asking me when the Doom guy was going to arrive. And I was like, Doom guy? What does she mean? And I asked what she meant. And she's not like a video game player. She's not talking about the video game Doom. And, you know, that's like on everyone's mind right now because that's coming out like the same day as Animal Crossing. It's a whole thing. But she just says like Doom guy, and there's like a metal fabricator coming to like our apartment to like install a rail, and she called him that because like Doom is like, it's like a genre of weed metal, I think. Like, anyways, I don't need to gateway you guys into Doom metal, but that's what she was talking about. Like, no awareness of the video game. So I learned something new. Hi, Cindy Fox's sister. Hi, Cindy sister. What did she say? What did your sister say? She's like, why is this internet chat room talking to me? Rena, that's the goal. It's to give myself the shivers. I'll say it doesn't happen very often because I'm in complete control over what I'm drawing. But man, can you imagine if I could give myself the shivers? Then I should be able to give all of you the chills. Yeah, I'm not drawing any monsters today because there just aren't any in this episode, which makes it a tricky thing. But I feel like monsters have like the over-design problem. Like, they don't look scary if they look too cool. Like, they need to look a little bit stupid. I've said this before about Pennywise. Marked. Why did you ask the question? I have to scroll all the way up. Marked Pokemon fan. I don't see it. You might have to ask it again. I can't always get to everyone's questions. It goes by fast. How do you do be-do? Okay. I get it. I'm the only current artist for SomethingScary, that's correct. We sometimes will bring in a freelancer or something to help relieve the workload, but yeah, I've been the only illustrator for 1 year. I took over directly after Sapphire stopped. Not when she left the show. I worked with her for a long time. Specifically after she stopped drawing the show, because she used to draw everything. And then we did about, I want to say like 30 episodes together, maybe 25 episodes, something like that. Is it true that Twilight is horrible? I don't know if that's true. I think I saw part of the first movie. I was like, this is kind of silly. It's a young adult novel. It's for kids. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, it is what it is. When you don't know what to draw, what do? I sweat profusely and I panic and I start scribbling and drawing rough things. No. What you don't do is panic. What you want to do when you're under pressure and you need to draw something is break it down to what do you need to draw. Like, break it down into smaller elements. Try and think of what you do know. You know, it's hard to draw what you don't know. Once you start defining stuff, then you have an idea of what you're doing. So what I do a lot of times is I'll make a checklist for myself. I'll go through a script and I'll find out exactly how many frames I need to draw in an episode. And I have just that right here. I have a checklist for audio notes, script layout, roughs, waveform, notes that I give to the audio editor, script, and then I'll go through I'll have to draw a frame every time someone speaks dialogue. I'll have to figure out how many characters I need to draw, how many monsters, how many props I need to draw. And if I'm doing a good episode, I'll block out about 30 drawings, sometimes 35, 40. It's getting a little high. And this episode has 42 drawings, which means I'm going to be working for a long time on it. How do you get ideas for drawing monster? Dreams, movie, all of the above. I'll take inspiration from everything. Oftentimes from things that aren't even scary. Sometimes being reminded of the normal world is scary. I think that's what we like to refer to as the uncanny. You take something normal and you subvert it. You make it strange. You knock life out of balance. Chocolate McDonald's milkshake. Yummy. Yeah, those are good. Billie Eilish. She's pretty cool. I liked that video for, was it Everybody is Going to Hell? It had a very strong environmental message. Trypophobia. People use it to annoy me. Well, I'm not gonna do that to you today. Do you get trypophobia from looking at cheese? Like, does it bother you to see Swiss cheese? Because I just drew Swiss cheese earlier. I don't want to bother you. Yeah, sometimes I will play on the fear of trypophobia. That sounds redundant, right? The fear of trypophobia. The fear of holes, that is trypophobia. Because it is kind of an unsettling thing to look at. But not this episode. It just doesn't fit. It's bothersome on monsters and characters, like when it has like pock marks or holes. Spooky. Yeah, we're talking about phobias. We don't have to, but when there's a cluster of holes, but Swiss cheese is not that bad to me. Yeah, Swiss cheese is fine. But it's like, because it reminds you of like termites and nesting bugs, right? Like eggs. Yeah, that's bothersome. Yeah, I used to be scared of the dark. That's an interesting coincidence, Salama. I am also a Gemini. I'm pretty scared of spiders. I mean, I think that's a rational fear, because I don't think anyone wants to get bit by a spider, and you also, like, it's like the Forrest Gump chocolate of insects. Like, you never know what you're gonna get. You don't know what the bite is gonna do to you. Most of the time, you're fine. I'm bothered by black widow spiders. You know, like, spiders are smart. They'll jump on you and stuff. They'll just drop on you, like the spiders from Spelunky. Ooh. You pet is that a black widow spider? A redback spider? Yeah. If I feel something crawling on me, here's what I do. I try not to freak out. I try to think, okay, this little spider isn't here to bite me. It's not here to suck my blood. I'm just like a mountain to it. And it's just trying to climb around, just being like, You know, unless you smell particularly delicious, you know, like, then I guess it might bite you. What am I saying? Plenty of insects would love to suck your blood. That's true. But freaking out is not the answer, because if you, like, start freaking out, I think that's when you become agitated and probably more likely for it to bite you, right? Like, if I have a wasp on me or a bee, I'm not gonna start swatting at it and freak it out, because it's faster than me. You wanna, like, very calmly, like, if you can't, like, get it off of you, like, I've flicked some bugs off of me. Like, I had a spider on my neck earlier this year that crawled into my bed, and I just took my little finger and I flicked it. You know, when you take your index finger and your thumb and you do that little flick thing, that's how I got rid of it. Scared of heights. I don't feel like we have an episode that sufficiently covers scared of being afraid of heights. Except this episode actually has a moment in it. Here, let me read a passage aloud. Find the spot. Aaron, wary but very curious, followed her lead. Finally, in a different part of the castle, Siobhan stopped. In front of them, set within the castle parapet, was a very large and noticeably darker boulder jutting from the wall. There was an opening about 2 feet in front of it. It hung over the side of the castle from the roof, and the fall looked to be hundreds of feet. Standing there, both Aaron and Siobhan could feel a type of energy emanating off of the angular rock. Aaron's eyes widened with fear. How did you know about this? Eyes gleaming, Siobhan explained. Okay, and da-da-da-da-da. But the Blarney Castle, the Blarney Stone itself, is a real place you can visit as a tourist. And it has rails, and the parapet is jetting out several feet. And if there weren't like bars and stuff protecting you, you would fall hundreds of feet off of the castle. Maybe just 100 feet. I don't think it's that tall, but yeah. So there's this idea you kiss the Blarney Stone, and so you lay upside down, kind of, and you reach out, you hold the bars, and you kiss the Blarney Stone, and someone's there holding you and helping you, and you can't actually like fall through. There's safety bars to protect you. It's a very safe thing to do, and maybe a safe way to conquer your fears. But if you're afraid of heights, maybe you want to skip the Blarney Castle. Okay, new playlist. Let's try Rough Around the Edges. Hey now. That's alright. Your friend has a phobia of chickens? There's chickens at the cottage that I live in. It's like kind of like sort of out in farm country, and the roosters crow every morning. And they've got chickens walking around. Like when you're driving up the block, you can't, you gotta not drive too fast. You don't want to run over someone's chickens. It's like someone's pet. It's like someone's pet that makes them eggs. Minty. My mom got attacked by her pet rooster. Yeah, they can be aggressive, huh? I have a phobia of driving, and I drive every day. I feel like I've conquered it mostly, but nothing kind of terrifies me more than driving in a place that I'm not comfortable with. Like living in Los Angeles for a while, that like just terrified me. And thank goodness for Google Maps, because I cannot handle the combination of being lost, having people be mad at me, and my first cars were they were used. I don't think I've ever not had a used car. So you're also depending on this thing to hold together and not break down on you and malfunction. And to this day, I haven't watched Final Destination 2. I've seen part of that big highway pileup scene. But yeah, car accidents freak me out. It's the one thing I'm mortally scared of. I was in a car accident in my last year of college. I totaled my car because I was working for Starburns Industries as an intern. I was still going to college, but it was like a stop motion show called Mary Shelley's Frankenhole. And it had a concept very similar to Rick and Morty, like which they do now. Like it had a portal. It had like the portal idea. And Dr. Frankenstein was basically like a proto Rick Sanchez. He would like go to places in his portal. He'd like bring historical figures like Edgar Allan Poe, and he'd go across history and bring characters into the story. And anyways, I was in the prop department working on this show. I was making like little cars, little models, little things that the stop motion characters would interact with. And you know, I had to stop going because I was on my way back from Burbank. It's a 30-minute drive to Valencia, where I lived, where I was going to school. And like, I didn't know I was supposed to check the tire pressure regularly. You know, I was driving this thing like 30 minutes one way, 30 minutes back, and the tire pressure was totally low on my car, so I had a blowout, and it started fishtailing, and I didn't know what was happening. I was like fishtailing in this car, and I'm like trying to slow down, and eventually it like crashes into like the concrete divider, and luckily no one was seriously hurt. My car was totaled. I didn't collide with any other cars, so I was very lucky. After that happened, I tried a very aggressive therapy tactic where I exposed myself to like a movie called Crash, directed by David Cronenberg. It's like a really messed up movie about people who fetishize car accidents. And like early on in the movie, they go to like a reenactment of the car crash that James Dean was in, except they're driving these death-proof like replicas, and like actually crashing. They survive, but they just get off on this idea of like car accidents. Anyways, I want to say it's like a good movie. I like David Cronenberg, but it was the wrong movie for me to watch right after having been in a car accident, and it took me a while to like get over it. I don't think trauma therapy works. I don't think like you should rip the band-aid off, so to speak, like by like, you know, getting right back on the horse. I think you need to like give yourself some space. Like it's true, like in some cases like you need to like move on, but like you risk like scarring yourself if you like approach trauma in such a aggressive way, which is sort of what I did with driving. I was kind of afraid of driving before that. Anyways, long story. A lot of ins, a lot of outs. How do you kiss a stone? It's like built into the Blarney Castle. It's like a parapet, like, you know, on the top of a castle there's like those things that are like on the top of a rook, like chess piece. That's where the Blarney Stone is located. It's like on one of those like roof wall things. Can you bring me here? Ever interacted with the paranormal before? I'm not sure I understand Jamie's question. Thank you, by the way. This is your favorite channel. That's so nice. I might need a little clarification on your question, though. Have I ever interacted with the paranormal? I know the perfect way to make a humongous Lewis, but don't think it's very important. What is a humongous Lewis? Am I getting pranked? Is this Did I just say something odd? What is a humongous Lewis? That's like something I would do as like a voice text. Like when a voice text like interprets what you're saying and it comes out odd. I may have interacted with the paranormal, but I think it was just sleep paralysis. But I know people who I believe have interacted with the paranormal. Because of the silence in the live stream. Am I silent? Can you all not hear me? No. Okay. I started to freak out that my microphone was off this whole time. Y'all can hear me though, right? Just let me know. Don't we all, Cindy Fox? Don't we all? Okay, great. Glad everyone can hear me. I've got a little lockup on my tablet. I'm gonna make sure it's not a problem. I'm gonna unplug it and plug it back in. Might be a USB problem. There we go. No way. That's terrible. I need to fix that. Okay, I'm gonna close Flash and reopen it. It's like I can't see my cursor, you know? One, two. Wow. It's like a Windows thing. It thinks I'm using a touchscreen. It's so rude. Oh yeah, I saved. Don't worry about that. The show must go on. I don't know. Look at that. I don't even have pressure sensitivity. That is so obnoxious. We've still got 40 minutes on the stream. I mean, I know I can fix this, but it would involve going off the stream. So why don't I just try to make this productive? We'll make it like a challenge. The blind cursor challenge. Or I could draw with a mouse, like people used to think I was doing. Why don't we do that? You can do a lot with a mouse. I learned how to use Flash with a mouse. The only thing is you're gonna hear me clicking a lot. There's plenty of very successful graphic designers who use nothing but a mouse. Like the other character designer on Mr. Pickles that I worked with, like he would just use the mouse. He would use the tablet for some things, but I mean, I think he just liked the control that you have over vector stuff. Oh, that's fun. Are you listening to this at night, Jamie? I aspire to make this like a relaxing, chill out thing. So, I think that's cool. It's all with the mouse now. See, that's another thing. If you don't have a drawing tablet, that's not a restriction. You can still make art with a mouse. A lot of people use what's called the pen tool. You can draw like very successful shapes using just this. This is all mouse. You have complete curve control. Anyone can do art. 3:24 p.m. That's 1 hour ahead of me, so you must be, let me think, like middle of the states, like Colorado, maybe Texas. All the videos go for 3 hours once a week. Oh, and 5:24, so you're on the East Coast. That's cool. I think it doesn't display the views until the video has been archived. I could be wrong about that though. See, now I'm gonna actually use the pen. I'm drawing blind. Alabama. Just catching up on the chat. I've had a lot of different spirit animals. It's hard to decide. I used to think that my spirit animal was an ant, because, I mean, that was just my favorite animal for a while. You know, they're super strong. They're part of a collective. They, like, work together. They're a society. They do very complex things. Their motivations are largely unknown to us. We don't know why they do what they do, but they're... if you're an alien and you were to look at Earth, you might look at the sheer number of ants and like how they're everywhere and think of them as the dominant species on the planet. There, I drew a nose. Murder mystery roleplay. That's fun. I have to eat tea as well. I'm gonna drink it. Sometimes there's characters in SomethingScary episodes that don't deserve what happens to them. This guy here definitely deserves everything that happens to him. This girl doesn't, though. Yeah, I don't want to spoil what's going to happen, but let's just say this guy steals a piece of the Blarney Stone, and they get the curse of the Blarney Stone. Bad things happen. what paranormal activity is this Smart World episode going to be on? I just want to know what kind of creature is about. It's a... it's the Blarney Stone. Okay. Wow, I miss my pressure sensitivity. I wish I still had it. Maybe I'll do some rough drawings. Yeah, because I'm just very severely limited with what I can do with my precision, because my Cintiq decided to mess with the drivers or something. I just need like a complete restart. But I don't want to stop the stream, and I'm not gonna. So I think I'm gonna draw some roughs, some storyboards. Okay, let's get another playlist going. Dreamy beats. Cool. Also, since we're winding down, there's only like a half hour left. I don't know. You just throw something out there. Everybody calm down. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I could draw the Blarney Stone, which honestly isn't very interesting looking. It kind of looks like a, no offense to the Blarney Stone, it looks like a false wall in a Zelda game. Like it's like a darker part of a wall, and that's how you know it's the Blarney Stone, because in this legend of the Blarney Stone, there will you kiss it and you'll be a sly talker after that. And the person who created Blarney Castle, he heard a voice from like a god named Cleona, I think it was the goddess's name, and she said, kiss the first large boulder you see and you'll have help getting out of a sticky situation. I think that's how it goes. So I'm not going to draw the Blarney Stone. Maybe I'll draw Blarney Castle. Maybe that. There's a rope bridge that I have to draw. And that's a funny thing because I don't think there is a rope bridge at Blarney Castle. But we wrote one into the script because we needed it. So I might draw that. maybe I'll draw Blarney Castle right now. Blarney. If you're wondering what the Blarney Castle in Ireland looks like, here it is. Thing is, I need to find the right angle to draw it at. Yeah, and I think I'm going to use the River Martin. Do we have anyone in the chat that's been to Blarney Castle? I know we had a couple people from Ireland earlier. You have to see what happens to Aaron. Have to take a little bit of creative license because they wrote a rope bridge into the episode, and this is like flatlands. There's like, you make a rope bridge to connect two mountains or a hill at the least. No, I haven't watched BuzzFeed Unsolved yet. It's on my to-do list. Play nice, guys. X-Man of New Orleans. Yeah, I remember they kind of like referenced that in what do we call it? The American Horror Story. Yeah, that's like a legend. It's a brutal story. I hate that guy. Maybe the real Blarney Stone will be hidden on a separate parapet. Like, not the main one, but like one that's kind of off the beaten path. This is like Blarney Stone fan fiction. Jamie Elz's threatening people. That's not cool. Seemed like you guys were just ignoring him too. That's like perfect. No need to pay attention to people that are acting like that. I can barely draw right now, but I might draw a little bit of Momo. Yeah, I can't. I can't draw Momo from memory, especially not with this pen not working. Sorry. Sorry, at this point I'm just screwing around because there's 10 minutes left and I can't draw the things I want to draw. So, I don't know. Any requests? Wait a second. I can see my cursor again. What sorcery is this? Do I have pressure sensitivity though? No, I don't think so. Hello, hello. Wait. Yeah, okay. I am on. Every time someone says the live stream is not talking, I think you're talking about me. Draw a cat? Okay, I'll draw a cat. And then like that, my cursor magically disappears. It's a cat. It's a ball of yarn. You're welcome. Anyone else? Drawing requests? About 7 minutes left. Self-portrait. Wow. Okay. I don't have a mirror, but I'm narcissistic enough to know what I look like by memory. I don't have black hair, but I'm drawing with a black marker. There. Self-portrait. Oh, Stitch. Okay. Alright. Stitch is coming up next. I don't remember how to draw Stitch. Maybe if I close my eyes and think, okay, Stitch has big ears, he's got a big mouth. What do his eyes look like, though? This is gonna be horrible. I refuse to look at reference for it too. Does he have antennas? It's like a koala. Black eyes. Maybe that's what I'm missing. No? if that's much better. Black's always fun. Alright, I'll look at reference. Stitch. Lilo and Stitch. Oh, yeah. Now it's so obvious. Looks like this. Looks like we Le Stitch. Okay, everybody. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. You guys are really the best. Alright, goodbye everybody. Death Potato, Jeff, Cindy, Daniel, Ella, Skylar, Triple A, Baby Sniper Wolf. You are all amazing. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out. Bye.